want to pick up where we left off yesterday. As we were reading from the Gospel of St. Mark, the 14th chapter, Mark would write of this account. In verse number 12, he would say this, "In the first day of unleavened bread, when they killed the Passover, his disciples said unto him, Where wilt thou we go, and prepare that you may eat the Passover? And he sent forth two of his disciples, and said unto them, Go ye into the city, and there shall meet you a man bearing a pitcher of water. Follow him. And wheresoever he shall go, say ye to the goodman of the house, The master says, Where is the guest chamber, where I shall eat the Passover with my disciples? And he will show you a large upper room, furnished and prepared. There make ready for us." On the last program, we dealt with the Passover, what it represented. In fact, really what it meant. I want to talk about today what it represented. The Passover represented what Jesus Christ would do at Calvary's cross. The Passover, every lamb that was offered up in sacrifice from the very beginning of time, which was from Adam, and as well especially from that moment in Egypt, and for all those years and those generations leading up to hours before the crucifixion of Christ, it all would represent what Jesus Christ would do. Now, this is important. In the text that I read to you, it made the statement, "And they killed the lamb." That was referring to the offering, as I mentioned on the last program, the sacrifice, which was a type of Jesus Christ. Little did they know, maybe the disciples really did not comprehend what all of that represented. Little did they know, maybe they didn't understand when that little lamb was offered up in sacrifice, that the one that was before them, Jesus Christ, would be the one to take away, as John said, the sin of the world. Notice the progression. First of all, the lamb had to be slain. That speaks of Christ. That means, as I mentioned on programs before, and allow me to repeat myself for this moment, the baptism with the Holy Spirit with the evidence of speaking with other tongues is a separate work of grace outside of salvation. I made mention of this, and I will be referring to this quite often, but listen, and I want you to hear what I'm saying. Salvation is God's greatest gift to the world. The baptism with the Holy Spirit is God's greatest gift to the church. A person who is not saved cannot receive the Holy Spirit. Jesus, in fact, said it in the Gospel of St. John. He told his disciples, he said that the Holy Spirit shall be with you, shall be in you. He said, the world can't see him. The world can't know him, but you will get to know him. You will know him, for he will reside on the inside of you. That speaks of believers. No unbeliever can receive the Holy Spirit. The reason why that no unbeliever can receive the Holy Spirit is because they're not clean. When the Holy Spirit, yes, the Holy Spirit does come in at salvation, but he does so to bring regeneration, to clean us up. Paul would write in one of his epistles in 2 Corinthians, I believe it is, he was writing to the Corinthians and said, "But such were some of you," talking about what they used to be, and he listed a whole litany of things of people that they were before they got saved. But then he said, "But such were some of you, but now you are sanctified. You are washed, you are sanctified, and you are justified." That word sanctified for years I always thought should have been the third one, washed, justified, and sanctified. But the fact of the matter is that when Paul wrote it, he was right when he wrote it. Of course, he was under the unction of the Holy Spirit. We're washed first, sanctified, because that means to clean up. The Holy Spirit comes in at salvation to clean us up, to prepare us, to make us a habitable state, if you will, for Jesus Christ or for the Holy Spirit to come in and reside. At salvation, the Holy Spirit baptizes us into Jesus Christ. That word baptism and baptize, it means to immerse. We're placed into Christ. Romans chapter 6, verses 3 through 5. However, it's spirit baptism. Jesus Christ, who is the baptizer, baptizes us or immerses us or places us into the Holy Spirit. Can a person, an unbeliever, speak with other tongues? No, absolutely not. Think of it this way. Before the cross, the Holy Spirit could not come in and reside in the hearts of believers as He does now, because the blood of bulls and goats could not take away sin. It could only cover. But since the cross, since the crucifixion of Christ, the Holy Spirit can now literally come in, take up residence inside of each and every single believer. So first of all, the lamb has to be killed. That speaks of Christ. He was about to do this. Literally in just a few hours, He would be crucified regarding our text. That's the first thing. The lamb has to be slain. Secondly, the moment the lamb was slain, Jesus would tell the disciples, two of His disciples, Peter and John, I believe it was, go into the city. There you'll find a man bearing a pitcher of water. That was uncommon. It was not common for a man to carry water. It was common for a woman to carry water. But not only that, to make matters that much more worse, the streets were glutted with people from Israel, from all over Israel. They came to Jerusalem for the Passover week. How could they find a man bearing a pitcher of water? As I mentioned, as uncommon as it would stand out. It was different. It was something that they would not see. And yet when they see that man bearing a pitcher of water, that was a type, that man bearing a pitcher of water was a type of the Holy Spirit. Why do we say that? Water is a symbol of the Holy Spirit. Water is one of the symbols, one of the 5 symbols of the Holy Spirit. It means refreshing. It brings life. Water brings life. It brings a refreshing, and that's what the Holy Spirit will do. And so Jesus would tell His disciples, when you see that man, you got to look for him. He says, find him and meet him. After salvation, the Holy Spirit, Jesus Christ, after salvation, Jesus Christ then points you to the Holy Spirit, meaning this, that it is imperative for you to go on to be baptized with the Holy Spirit with the evidence of speaking with other tongues. It's not meant for you to go through this Christian life and not be baptized with the Holy Spirit. It's meant for you to be filled the moment you receive salvation. Now we've run out of time. We're going to pick up where we left off here just a moment on the next program. Don't miss one of these programs. As I mentioned, subscribe to this channel. Tell others about this channel and let others know about what we're doing here. We love you. God bless you. We'll see you next time in the Lord.